very soon and now. All right. Oh, we're pretty well synced up here. All righty. Very good. So this is, for those of you tuning in, not sure what's going on here, we have a race between Nitzguy1 and Zerowing211. They're doing Final Fantasy VI, a category we like to call Kefka at Narshe. And you see Riku has put some information about the tournament there in chat. We'll get to that in a second, but first we have some battles going on, so let's talk about what's going on here. You have three characters here. You have Terra, Vix, and Wedge. The object of these battles is to let Terra get all the experience that she can from them. So you notice that she's doing the Bioblast, which is an AoE attack, and you'll see that Vix and Wedge are running away. Couple elements here is that the Bioblast has a very long animation, which gives Vix and Wedge plenty of time to run away. So that's why that in particular is used. You now see both of them encountering a Pincer Attack. All of these attacks are completely staged, by the way. They're the same every time.
Also, you would have noticed the runners took a step that looks like it's out of place going over to the right there. And that's actually so we can skip an encounter there that's triggered by a space that's up on that way.
That is absolutely true. Yes, you want to avoid that. That just wastes time. So with the Pincer Attack here, you actually have to use Vix and Wedge to kill the enemies in a very certain order, so that Vix and Wedge will be able to escape. If you do not do that, then you'll be told that you can't run away, and they will stay there. Because the way that earning experience works in this game, as it is with most Final Fantasies, it is dispersed evenly among all of the people that are still there in your party. Now, if they are either dead or petrified, or if they have run away, they don't share any of that, so it will go to whoever is there. So that's how we're able to concentrate all of this experience on Terra. So this is going to be the last. This is going to be the last forced encounter of this beginning sequence, and it looks like Nitz was successful in getting all of his Vix and Wedge to run away, and Zero did the same. So we are looking good there. Doing a safety tonic here on Nitz's side. That tells me that he might not be on the seed that he needs to be on. Now, there are ways to manipulate it where you can set up a certain seed here so that when you get into this cave here, there will be no random encounter. So we will see if he has done that. Looks like Zero has not, so he's going to take an encounter there that you notice Nitz didn't. So Zero just needs to take a few seconds to run away here. Hopefully that's the only one that he gets, so he can stay nice and tight for this first boss battle, which is Welk. Now, Welk is an interesting fight because there is a way to do a quick kill on him. You'll see, if you see what Vix and Wedge are talking about here, attacking the shell is going to cause him to counterattack. Now, the counterattack is pretty strong, and in a normal playthrough, you'd want to avoid it. However, we're going to use this to kind of mess with his ATB for our advantage. So the way that this should go is that Terra's the only one of the three that has this tech missile attack that you saw him throw at his head. So you need to hit him with 3 tech missiles in the face, and most of the time that's going to be enough to finish it. But what Welk is scripted to do is what is known as Gru, where he will duck his head inside the shell and he will be invulnerable to these attacks. So he's already got 2. Here's the 3rd tech missile, and Nitz has successfully executed the quick kill. Very well done. So now we're going to see Zero come up and attempt this. What is key to making this successful is a technique called the weight trick. That is, you'll see, like right here, you see how while the tech missile animation is going on, Zero was in one of his battle menus. What that will do is it's going to freeze the ATB gain of everyone, really, but specifically Welk, and that's what's important. So, okay, so you see the Gru there? He did not get the quick kill. So you're going to see the head go into the shell, and, okay, we're going to see a fire beam here. This is going to result in a counterattack. Hopefully it's not too hard. Okay, as long as Terra survives, you're fine. So he's going to sit there in the shell. He's going to Gru again. The head will come out. He'll eat another tech missile, and then this fight will be over. Getting the quick kill like Nitz did, as opposed to what happened here on Zero's side, probably saves a good 20 seconds or so. So it is definitely important to get that if you can. So, but we've got Zero through Welk now, and now we get to move on. Just a little background on some of these runners here. Nitzguy1, looking at his splits, his PB is 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 22 seconds. Zero's PB is 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 23 seconds. So a difference of pretty much 7 minutes. This is the second tournament of Kefka at Narshe that we've had here. Nitz participated in the first one, so he is fairly well versed in this category. Zero, I think, picked it up much more recently, so you might notice a bit of a discrepancy there. But with this being a game that can have plenty of RNG points, which we will discuss when we get to them. This race could go many different ways, so we'll see how this shakes out. We already got through it on Nitz's side, but you're going to see over here on Zero's side, certain parts of the story is going to have you naming your playable characters. What you're going to notice these runners doing, with one exception, is they're going to shorten all of their names to one letter. Now, the reason we do this, if you're looking at the text boxes that are coming up on Zero's side of the screen, you'll notice that the game writes one letter at a time in those text boxes. So the fewer letters that it has to write, the sooner you can get through those text boxes. And the cumulative effect of this is multiple seconds throughout the run. So it's definitely worth doing. Every time you get, the only exception is going to be Shadow, just because his name pops up so seldom that it actually wastes more time to delete the 5 letters that you would than it would to keep them and let all of them pop up for the handful of times that it happens. So right now Nitz is going through the Narshe cave. He's going to be killing all of these enemies that he finds here, and you'll notice right about now he's going to start just kind of farming back and forth for this. You're going to get a second encounter here, or I'm sorry, this would be a fourth encounter in this cave. What this is going to do is it is going to get Terra up to level 6. This is significant because when characters join your party, or when they, when you get to the story where they join, their levels is going to be relative to the other ones that you already have. So Locke is going to be joining the party very soon, and his level, I believe it's 2 levels above whatever Terra is. So he's going to be, or maybe it's 1. So he'll be either level 7 or 8. But
pretty sure it's 7.
It's 7. Okay, thank you. So it'll get you where you need to be. You're going to see this again in the many battles that we're going to do are going to be done on Mount Colts, where you have to make sure that 3 of your characters are at certain levels, as opposed to just this one here with Terra. So yeah, Zero having to take a little longer to get this battle than he needs here, because he is not on the optimal seed for doing this. But you see, when she learns a level and she learns Antidote, that's what happens at level 6. So now he's where he needs to be. There's a little bit of downtime here with some cutscenes and whatnot. So just to kind of talk about the tournament itself, like I said, this is the second one that we're doing. The tournament officially kicked off on Thursday. This is actually only the third official tournament match that we've run. There was one earlier today, a run between Holy Smith and Rivers McCown, and then the kickoff on Thursday was a match between Buffalax and the Cove. So we are the way that this is set up is we have, I believe it's 73 entrants. Is that right, Riku?
That was 72.
72? Okay.
Might be 73. I'll double check that quickly here.
Because I remember there being an odd number and somebody had to have a bye. Okay, so look over here on Nit's screen. You're going to see when he's naming lock, he's going to delete all of them except for the L, and off he goes.
Yeah, so we have 73 people.
Okay, it is 73. All right,
yeah.
Very good. So the way that this works is the first part of this tournament is in what's called a Swiss format. What that means is that everybody is going to be paired up randomly, and they'll have a match against one another. Obviously, there's going to be a winner and a loser to each match. The winners are going to be 1-0 as far as their record goes, and the losers are going to be 0-1. What happens in the next level is that everybody that has the same records is going to get paired up. So it's not like a tournament bracket or groups where everything is preset before the tournament even starts. So once everybody plays one match, everybody that has a 1-0 record is going to play somebody else that have the same record, 0-1, the same thing. Once all those resolve, then you're going to have people with records of 2-0, 1-1, and 0-2. In the third level, they're all going to get paired up, and so on and so forth. That's going to happen for 4 rounds, and then the top 16 records are going to advance into a single elimination bracket where you just play on through, try not to get eliminated, and whoever doesn't is the winner of the tournament. On Nitz's side here, we are going into the Moogle battle. This is where you're split into 3 parties, but we only use one, and it's going to be this Moogle party on the left. This one is special because it has Mog in it, and Mog is the most powerful of the characters that you can use here, so that's why we use him. Now you see Nitz, what he's doing here is he's waiting for these characters to move by, because if he were, and you see he was a little too hasty there, and he got into this encounter. This encounter and all the other ones are avoidable if you step properly. And again, Nitz looked like he almost had it, but didn't quite. So the battle that really matters, this is one that he's about to get in here with the Marshal and the Lobos. So basically, you just want to try and get through these as quickly as possible. But there's one key thing that you want to do here, is that when you get a chance, the mithril pike that Mog is wearing, we want that for later. So we're actually going to rip it from him, and you see him just do it right there. Take it off of his left hand, or right hand, excuse me, and put it into inventory. So now Mog is going to try to punch his way to freedom. And, ooh, Zero very narrowly missing that mob there. And Nitz is through the Marshal. So you're going to see here. So the way that those mobs work is that if you touch them, they will, you'll get into those battles. However, while they're moving in a walking animation, you can actually move right by them and the trigger doesn't go. So you can essentially just dance right by all of them if you walk properly. So Zero was able to do that. That's going to give him an opportunity to catch up a little bit here. You're going to see Zero also taking off Mog's mithril shield as well. This is something that some runners do, some runners don't. The ones that do are either going to equip it on Terra, so that she is a little tougher for Mount Colts, or you're going to see them just leave it and it will get automatically equipped on Sabin during the Imperial camp.
So one thing to know is that we have 2 of these like big walking sections like this, one right now and one near the end, and there are actually ways to basically do that walk by in both those areas to save time.
Yes. One other thing here is that the way that you walk on the overworld map, there are some tiles that there's no visual indicator of it, but on certain tiles, it does not trigger an encounter, or it does not increase your threat. So it allows you to cover the most distance while pushing off encounters as far as, or delaying encounters as far as possible, I should say. So that's going to be more, you're going to see that on this walk here. The walk into Figaro, into South Figaro, the walk to the Returner's hideout, as well as the full walk from the beginning of Sabancinero into the Phantom Forest. So Nitz is the first to enter Figaro Castle. This is where we are going to get our third player character, and that would be Edgar. Edgar, I think, is one of the more useful, if not the most useful character in this run, in that he has a great AoE attack, as well as he can do a lot of damage to specific bosses using an item that we're going to get a little bit later called the Genji Glove. So you see, again, we name Edgar down to E. So we've got E, L, and T out trying to save the world.
And we are about to learn about another character that we will be getting later on in the run, who has some really cool abilities that he gets to use throughout the run.
Indeed. So one thing that I was wanting to point out, and we'll do it here on Zero screen because it's already happened. It's already happened on Nitz's side. So this Edgar fellow, he is the king of Figaro here, and as such, he does have some royal standards to uphold. He turns his back on a lady, and that's rude, but apparently flipping her off is not. So I'm not sure what Edgar logic is all about there. So right now, Nitz is about to get to the brief cutscene that Riku just referenced here, where we are going to have the first appearance of Sabin, as well as naming him. He is going to join the party in probably about not quite 20 minutes or so from now. So he will be important later. For those that are not familiar with Final Fantasy VI, each character has a special ability that is unique to them. For the characters that we have already, Terra eventually can morph into an Esper, Locke can steal, Edgar can use tools, and Sabin uses an ability called Blitz. And the way that Blitz works is it's a series of attacks or things that help out your party, but in order to do them, you need to execute a certain button combination in order to get them to work. And for those of you like myself that grew up playing games like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, you're going to notice that there's kind of a little bit of a fighting game flavor to the way that you do those button combinations. So it's definitely a unique element to this game that made it pretty cool, and it's one of the reasons why Sabin is my favorite character in this game too. So now over on Nitz's side, we have the first appearance of Kefka. He is ultimately the main antagonist of this game. And he's certainly the main antagonist of this run. After all, I mean, this is called Kefka at Narshe, so we will be done with the run after we have our first real confrontation, with Kefka himself.
So one thing that you can actually do during that guard sequence is, you saw it for a second there, but then they turned back when you went to talk to Kefka. But you can actually have this cutscene end up as a staring contest between those two guards.
Yes. Yeah, and that, I mean, there's no real significance to that. I mean, I guess if you get it, it is optimal because you're hitting that A button on just the right frame to have it happen. But it's just a cool little, just a trick to see if you can do. Another cool trick here is that Locke tells you to follow him. However, he sits there and waves his hand while you can walk, so you can actually get in front of him, and he ends up following you. So this is going to be a little bit more cutscene action, and then there will be a story encounter here
Yeah, it's one of the big things with this run is it's very cutscene heavy. But, and some of the points where you would think that certain things are story triggers, they actually aren't required. Like, for the guards in Kefka, for example, like, you would think you would just go and talk to Kefka right away. But no, you have to talk to both those guards before you can actually initiate the scene with Kefka there.
Exactly.
This will prove to be very relevant in a second here as well on Nitzguy1's side.
Yes, indeed. So Edgar jumps out of bed to see what's the matter, and what's the matter is that his castle is on fire. Despite the fact that it seems to be made of bricks, they are on fire. Final Fantasy logic.
It's because of Kefka's amazing magic, obviously.
Kefka, yeah, there you go. Exactly.
So, right there, like, what you would do in a casual playthrough is you would talk to Kefka, obviously, but we don't need to talk to him. We just go straight up. And
yeah, we just need to do whatever is required. So Edgar and his cohorts flee on the backs of chocobos while his castle magically sinks into the sand on purpose. So this is actually a mechanic later on in the game, beyond the scope of this particular run that you're going to see here, where you can actually use, you can intentionally have the castle submerge, and it will also traverse to another point. It'll traverse the map and take you to another point on the world map altogether. So Nitz is about to get into this M-Tech armor battle here. It is a back attack, so you see that ATB is very low. You also see him trying to run away, though he knows that he can't. Every time that text box pops up, it is going to stall the ATB of the enemies, but you'll see your own ATB is coming up just fine. So all you need to do in this battle is use that tools command that I was talking about with Edgar. The only tool that he will have in this run is the auto crossbow. It's a fairly strong AoE attack that will kill them in two turns. You can also use that time there to equip Terra with the shield if you have it and you choose to do that. Otherwise, arrange your item inventory should you choose to do that. So it is a necessary battle, but it can serve some functions there if you would like. You can even steal with lock. It doesn't really slow anything down if you do it in the right order, and maybe get, I don't know, what is the good steal from the end? I mean, I never do it, so what is the good steal? I know you can get a tonic, but that's not really what you're after.
Let me take a look here on what you can steal from them.
Thank you. Right on. So they're talking about Terra getting to the returners, and then Edgar seems to say something that suggests that Terra's not a human, and she's not too happy about that. Can't really blame her. So anyway, so we're going to actually ride the chocobo over here to this cave to South Figaro, and doing this accomplishes two things. First of all, it does not increase your step counter, and there are no your step counter, and there are no encounters along the way while you are on the back of a chocobo.
Okay, so the two items you can steal from the Magitech armor, one of them is the tonic, and the other is a potion.
Okay, so now, and that's important because you do need several potions throughout the course of this run, whether that be just for what you need to do or for safety as well. If a character gets low on health, if you get pincered by ghosts later on in the Phantom Train, the forest, or even the Veldt either, that would be another place too. So Nitz is the first to get into this cave to South Figaro. You are going to want to fight all of the random encounters in here. Basically just throw the crossbow out and it should one-shot everything. And of course we're doing this because we want experience. This is going to be a key part of getting the experience route going for where we need it to go. Except for this battle here. This is just two hornets. Oh, interesting. He's going to let only Edgar do this. That's an interesting play. Okay. Now there is going to be if let's see if Nitz does it, but during Mount Colts there is a particular battle because he's on. Well, he might be a little off step route. I don't think he was on the right tiles there, but there's a particular battle that you're going to get in a place that is going to give you a good amount of experience, and you want Locke specifically to run from it. So what Nitz has done here is he's gone to a relic shop. He has purchased sprint shoes. What this will do is, when you can see the effect of it right there, it pretty much triples his walking speed. So, of course, with this being a speed run, the more fast we're going, the more time we're saving.
Okay, I want to point out something I find hilarious about that Nitzguy just did. So we went and got the Chocobo. They're just like, hey, this is how you use it now. Yeah, you've already used a Chocobo once in this game already.
True.
But they need to tell you now that this is how you use the Chocobos.
Right. So this is the Mount Colts that I was referring to. I can see that Nitz is a couple steps behind as far as where he got that encounter there. So he should still be okay for what he needs to accomplish, at least here on Colts. Ooh, a couple extra steps there. So anyway, you buy, back to the sprint shoes, you buy 3 of them because you're going to put them on various characters at certain points in the game because party members are going to come and go, spoiler alert, and you want to make sure that that the character that had the sprint shoes isn't the one that left. So in order to do that, we just get a bunch and we put them on people at the right time. Speaking of relics, Nitz has just picked up the Atlas armlet, and you immediately equip it to Edgar. And the reason why he does this is it increases his battle power, which is going to increase the amount of damage that he will do both with his auto crossbow as well as his regular attacks, which he will be doing to enemies, starting with Ultros. Oh, went back in the cave. Did not mean to do that. Okay. Yeah, so he's a few steps behind. Oh, and this is a Cyprius battle. This is supposed to have a Tusker in it as well, and that is going to give some additional experience. So he's going to have a little bit of catching up to do for his experience route.
So yeah, with the Atlas armlet that we gave, the exact number is he's going to do 25% more damage, which is going to be awesome for him.
Zero fighting that Tusker battle there in the cave. Typically the battles in the cave, which are the Tuskers and the Brawlers, not advised to do those just because those are tougher enemies. And it's just not quite worth it that much for the experience. So, interesting strategy, but we'll see if it pays off for him. Ooh, unfortunate pincer here on Nitz's side. This stinks for 2 reasons. First of all, oh yeah, and you see Tara getting low on. Oh, good, she didn't get hit. Okay. This is bad because obviously you can't run away. You have enemies on both sides. And the auto crossbow now is not going to be full AoE. You can only hit all the enemies on one particular side. So it's not going to take everyone out. It's only going to take out one side, and now he's going to have to do it again on the other. Okay, he just does an attack. That was definitely the smart play. So that's going to give Zero a bit of a chance to catch up here, which is good for him. Again, doing these Tusker battles is... Oh my god, 2 pincers in a row for Nitz. This is definitely going to... let Zero catch up here.
So I know why he's fighting these Tusker battles, and it's because of the LCC's notes not actually stating that you should be running away from those as well. It only states to run away from the Brawlers.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So
then that's astute that you pointed that out, Riku. That might be something that we might want to mention that he might update because. Yeah.
Well, the reason why is because you're meant to be on that route, and you aren't going to run into the 2 Tusker battles on the route. I don't think.
That would probably explain. Yes, the LCC's notes are definitely specific to. I'm sorry. I should say they are written assuming that you are on step route. So that makes sense. That actually makes sense. Okay. So, yeah, okay, he is running from the brawlers here, so certainly he is taking that to heart. Wow, and so Nitz got back-to-back pincer attacks, and now he gets back-to-back side attacks. So it all evens out in the cosmos, I guess. With Nitz not getting the battle that he wanted there for Step Route, we might see, oh boy, and a preemptive attack. Man, he's just getting blessed right now. So this is definitely helping him make up that time that he lost with those two pincers. We might see him do a level check here pretty soon, because we're getting pretty close to Vargas, which is the boss at basically the end of this area of the game. And what he's going to be looking for is he's going to be looking for Edgar to be level 10, Locke to be level 9, and Terra to be level 8. And the reason why this is important is that Sabin is about to join you as soon as this Vargas battle is done, and his level is going to be the average of your party plus 2. So the average is going to be 9. He will join at level 11. And because Sabin is going to be one of your main damage dealers for certain bosses like Ultros and, of course, Kefka, having the higher level is definitely worth it. Alrighty, so you see Locke and Edgar gained a level. Where does that put him? 10, 9, and 7. So he still needs a level for Terra. So we're going to see him run around here. We're going to see him grind for hopefully just one more battle. And then he will engage Vargas. Oh, this should be a good one to do it. Looked like he was trying to have Locke run away, which is definitely advised here because he's at the level he needs to be. So you just want him to go. Oh, be careful! Don't let Edgar run. There you go. Okay, good. He was using the battle animations. That was smart. We don't want there. Oh no, Terra ran too. She's the one that needed the experience. That is unfortunate. So he's going to have to grind out another battle. I can guarantee you he did not intend to do that. Alright. So these Trilliums can be annoying. They have 150 hit points, and on average, Edgar's crossbow does about like somewhere in like the mid 150s damage to him, but it can do in the 140s, in which case you just got to clean him up with an attack from either Locke or Terra. We see starting the cutscene with Vargas. That means that Terra must have gotten to level 8, and we are good to go. So you cannot actually attack Vargas until both of these bears in his way are out of the way. So we are going to concentrate fire attacks on them, as well as the auto crossbow, try to clear them out as much as possible. And then we need to do at least 720 damage to Vargas to get him to trigger. So
also, you'll notice that we moved Locke to the front row, and that's so he can deal some more damage, since he's going to be physically attacking for this whole fight.
Exactly. The reason why you would put a character in the back row is that it halves the physical damage that they take from enemy attacks, but it also halves the amount of physical damage that they do with their regular attacks as well. When you're using things like Edgar's auto crossbow or Terra's fire spell, it has no effect on being in the back row has no negative effect on that, so you might as well do it. But for Locke, something else that we didn't mention that we saw Nitz do was the mithril blade that was equipped on Edgar. We took that off of him, and we put it on Locke because it's certainly much stronger than the dirk that he has. So, okay. Oh, we've got Zero also in the Vargas battle right now. So, feeling like he's catching up here. So, this is the first instance of, well, I mean, this is when you first get Sabin. You have to use a blitz here to get this to go. Use the pummel attack, and it triggers Vargas to do the text and to disappear, which is what we want to do. So that's how you do that there. The only way in game that you would have any indication of how to do blitzes is in the menu. You have to go to the skills. The skills portion of the menu, and it will show you all the button combinations for the blitzes that Sabin has learned. He learns all of them by levels with the exception of one that he gets from story battle. You're only going to see him do 3 different blitzes in this one. You saw the pummel there. You'll see the one you're going to see most often is the Aura Bolt, because that's going to do the most damage. And then there's another one called Suplex, and this is going to be done in 2 key areas, one of which is very necessary, and the other of which is very swag. So we'll see if the runners here choose to go for the Swagplex. Alrighty, so pummel here on Zero's side. And Vargas is officially down. I'm happy to announce that both of these runners are well ahead of their PB paces. Doing a safety save here on Nitz's side. The reason why you do that specifically there, now watch, you're following this returner here. This guy here with the brown helmet. You saw that other returner walking around over on the other side of the table. There is a chance, depending on what siege you're on and what NPC, where you are in the NPC progression, that returner can kind of wander around in the path of where you and Edgar are, or where Edgar is walking up. And if he gets there, he can essentially block you, and you can't advance. It's basically a soft block. So you just toss in a safety save there, especially for a race, just to make sure that if you do get blocked there, you can just reset, and it's not going to cost you that much time. So, question in chat: when's the next round? I believe the first round of matches should be completed by a week from tomorrow, sometime next weekend. So we're going to have another week of these first round matches, of which this is only the 3rd one to occur so far. So there's lots of first round action still to come.
Yeah, the first round is going to officially end on November 26th, is when they have to be done by. So
perfect.
Round 2 will be done by December 6th. Then December 16th is the 3rd round, and then the final round ends on Christmas Day.
Yeah, and Kamado, you see what Riku has put up there in chat. There are links where you can get information about the tournament. All right, so Nitz is plundering the Returner's hideout for some items. He picked up the Air Lancet. This is going to be something that Shadow will throw. He picked up the True Knight. This is going to be something that is going to be safety for a glitch that we're going to see later on. He picks up an Antidote, which is something that you have for safety during lock scenario. And then he also picks up, I believe the last item is a Phoenix Down. You need a couple of them throughout this run in very key spots to save large amounts of time. So there was also a Phoenix Down that he picked up when Terra got out of bed there and first talked to Locke after getting out of bed. There's a treasure chest right next to him that has a Phoenix Down. You need 2. You like to have 3, because having the 3rd one will give you safety in case you take an untimely death somewhere, or if you are trying to use a Phoenix Down in a certain manner and you just derp and press the wrong button, which runners do, especially when they're trying to go fast. So having the second one is, or having the 3rd one, I should say, is nice if you can. So another thing that you might have seen Nitz do, and you're going to see Zero doing it here in just a second. So when Terra gets out of bed here, in order to progress, you need to talk to Locke. He's going to go get the treasure and stuff first. Okay, so he gets the Phoenix Down there. He gets the True Knight there. He gets the Antidote there, and the Air Lancet there. So you talk to Locke, you talk to Sabin, you talk to Edgar, you get the stuff in no particular. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Let's focus on what Nitz is doing here. You saw him save and reset. He did this on purpose. You're going to see him reset again. That's also going to be on purpose. And the purpose of this is that it's going to set up the seed for the encounter seed for this next section of the game, where you're going to get the least amount of encounters as possible. So back to what I was talking about before. After you talk to all those guys and get the stuff, you go out here and you talk to Bannon. He's going to ask you if you want to be their last ray of hope. You want to tell him no 3 separate times. The reason why we do this is that if you do that, during the cutscene right after this, you're going to get that Genji glove that I referred to before. That is an extremely powerful item, especially in this speed run when it comes to doing damage with Edgar. If you tell him yes, instead you will get a gauntlet, which is essentially useless, especially in this speed run. So it is definitely worth the extra time to shut him down a couple extra times to get that very, very key item.
Also, I found out earlier, as well, on top of getting the Genji glove, this cutscene is actually shorter than saying yes to him.
Yes.
As well, so...
That is true. That is true. So, Nitz is now on the Leet River. You saw he was already in an encounter. This is the second one here. Ran from the first one. This second one he's not going to... Well, he is going to kind of run from it. Edgar isn't, because he's a man, and he's willing to take one for the team here. Actually, what he's doing is he's getting all the experience here. He's going to kill those pterodons. You're going to see him get about 900 or so experience, and you're going to see him level up. That's going to get him to 11. That's going to give him a significant boost to his damage when it comes to the fighting that he's going to be doing. Now, you see Nitz just cruising along down this river. If you don't know what siege you're on, you can get several encounters on this river. I believe the total amount of random encounters you can get on this is 7. Nitz is going to get 0. The first 2 are always scripted. You cannot avoid those. Yeah, Kamadou, yes, Nitz is in the lead. And we're going to see him actually get to the next boss here. So anyway, so you saw the first 2 sections. No random encounters. This is also a section here where he goes down the waterfall, where you can have some random encounters as well. Not going to get those. Instead, he is going to fight Ultros. Now, similar to what we saw with Welk before, there is a way where you can use turn orders and wait tricks to delay the scripted attacks that Ultros has so much that he basically just won't do them. The timing, however, is very tight, and the turn order is very particular. A missed blitz, that is unfortunate. But we're going to... Okay, you're going to see Terracast fire on him. You're going to get this... you're going to get that text there, and he's going to have a counterattack. Now, why that's nice, or why you want to use that to your advantage, is it's going to delay this delicious morsel attack where it's scripted. You'll see it's also very powerful, too. That's going to take Terra down pretty far. So you'd like to avoid that if you can. Not only for safety, but for time, too. Now, we're going to see Edgar attack here. You're going to notice something interesting when he attacks. He's going to attack once and twice with 2 different weapons. That's what the Genji glove does, is it allows you to, instead of having only a weapon and a shield, it's going to allow you to equip a weapon on either hand. So it essentially doubles the damage that you can do, essentially. Doing a health there for safety. He should be pretty close to finishing up on Ultros. In fact, that's probably going to be it, and it is. Okay. So that does it for the Ultros battle. And we're going to see Zero coming up on it pretty soon. So Nitz is going to go through a little bit more of a cutscene here. And then we're going to get into the scenario portion of this game. I haven't really kind of filled this in with the story, but you'll see, you'll see it here on the black screen in just a few seconds. There's going to be 3 groups of people. You're going to see Locke there, you're going to see Sabin, and then you're going to see Ban and Terra and Edgar together. They were all trying to get to Narshe together, but for various reasons, they got split up. So now we're going to do the scenarios one at a time. The order that we do these is important. We're going to do Sabin's first. And the reason for that is that at the very end of his scenario, you're going to be able to buy items called smoke bombs. And what those will do is when used in battle, you can escape immediately, provided that you can actually run from the battle. Nitz here is picking up our favorite ninja, Shadow. He is only going to be seen for a part of this scenario. And is going to help us out a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna get Chow for about half the scenario that we do here.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So, ooh, nice crit over there on. Oh, another crit! Wow, pretty fortunate for Zero here in his Ultros battle. Yeah, that tentacle attack is always scripted. The delicious morsel one is always scripted to hit Terra, and because she is pretty squishy, it gets her pretty close to fatal. Oh, there goes Ultros. He skipped the muscle heads one, so that is good. That definitely saves time. So, well done by Zero there.
So there's also another thing to note with the text boxes right now, since both of them have them. Since Zeros is in a battle, he can actually just hold down A and it will automatically advance at the soonest possible frame. Whereas outside of battle, you actually have to mash. So Nitzguy is actually having to mash through his text right now.
Yes, and this is probably the most. Would you agree? This is the most painful cutscene portion of the game. There's just so much going on here between the Imperial base and Doma Castle that it just feels like you're mashing A for forever.
Yes.
Yeah. So just a quick update on the times here. Looking at Nitz's split for Ultros. His split was at 43 minutes and 28 seconds, and Zero's was at 46 minutes flat. So Nitz ahead by about 2.5 minutes or so.
Okay, but they actually split at different times for that split, though.
Okay, roughly 2.5 minutes.
So it's probably about 2 minutes because Zero splits after the cutscene is all done. Whereas Nitz splits when he kills. Yeah.
Okay, so then it probably is closer to just about 2 minutes. So that gives an idea of where they're at. We see Nitz here naming Cyan, who is going to be with us for the entirety of this scenario from now on. He is actually. Oh, okay, go ahead.
As soon as he's done with that cutscene, he's going to actually change his battle speed up to 1 here because of how this fight works. We want the guard to attack again as soon as possible, and we're going to counter him.
The reason for that is you see him go down to Sword Tech. Sword Tech number 2 is an ability called Retort. What this will do is Cyan will sit there. As soon as he gets hit with a physical attack, he comes back with a very powerful physical attack of his own that you see just one-shots the leader there.
And we are going to get to see that one more time in this run.
Yes, but it's going to look a little different as far as why it happens, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that in what would you say? Maybe about like
20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Maybe about,
if that even.
Not quite. I'd say it's probably more like about 15-ish. Well, it's coming up.
It depends on how the Phantom Train goes.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
Because Ghost can block you constantly in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or you could get into a very unfortunate bomb situation on the outside of the train. There's still, I mean, like we were talking about before, Nitz is in lead by about 2 minutes. And even though they're about halfway through the run, by no means is a 2-minute lead insurmountable. There's plenty of RNG that can foil you along the way. So, not that we're hoping that happens to Nitz, but it can. So, you don't want to ignore it.
Well, that's like our match earlier today here. Like,
yeah.
Rivers was ahead by probably 3 minutes or so, if not more.
Yes.
And that completely turned around for him because of just forgetting one thing.
Right. But so there is that. I mean, certainly there are plenty of elements and things that you do that have that if you don't do them properly can have a domino effect later in the run. And I believe that's what happened to Rivers, where there was a key item that he needed to execute a glitch that he didn't have, and so he had to backtrack a little bit. So there's that element to it, and then the other element is Of course, if you just have some RNG that is just very unfavorable, it can cost you anywhere from a few seconds to a couple of minutes. So, I mean, this gap could close in the blink of an eye. So, yeah, don't while Nitz does have a considerable lead, he is by no means running away with this.
Yeah. Also, you'll notice that Nitz hasn't changed his battle speed back yet. But he's going to change it right away here because of the fact that the Kefka fights actually go faster with us having the faster battle speed. Because as soon as you hit him, it goes into the cutscene and sends it over. And we unequip Shadow from all of his gear and put it on him. And we only give him back his weapon.
Right. The reason why we do, and you notice he did it in a particular order. First, he took Shadow's gear off of him. Then he did an optimal equip with Sabin. Reason why is that Shadow comes with something called, his body armor is called ninja gear. And we want Sabin to have that because we're going to be using him a lot more throughout this run than we are Shadow. And ninja gear, oh, you saw the air lancet that we picked up, gets thrown at that guard to one-shot him. Anyway, ninja gear increases your speed. So because Sabin is so useful for so many fights, we want him to go as fast as possible, and we don't really care that much about Shadow, so we just rip his armor from him and let him go naked with just a dagger. So yeah. So we saw over on Nitz's side, Doma Castle has some odd-looking water. It looks pretty purple, and I know as far as flowing water goes, that's not a good thing. And it definitely isn't in this case because that is poison that has been released by Kefka into the river, flowing throughout Doma and making all of its citizens immediately die. All right, we're going to see that. Oh, okay, yeah. So we're going to see. This is also one of the more kitschy lines from the game here. You see it on Zero's side. Waiter, he says, do I look like a waiter? It's one of the more notable quips from this game. That's where that comes from. And you get to see it twice. So we see here in the menu. So he is going to set the battle speed back to 6. And that's it. Oh, okay. We are not going to get the ninja gear onto Sabin. Hopefully that doesn't...
If he remembers afterwards, he can still put it on him after this, because he's still in your party until after the Phantom Train, so...
This is true. So... typically you'll see most runners do it there because you want to take advantage of that extra speed as soon as possible, and this is the opportunity to do that. But you're absolutely right, Riku. He could just be planning on doing it later. And I hope that he does. So over here on Nitz's side, we see Cyan lamenting the fact that his wife and his small child, his son, have fallen victim to the poison too. And this is enough to send any man into a blind rage, which is exactly what has happened. Cyan has officially snapped. And he's just going to go kick any butt he can get his feet on. So... but we're going to help him kick some butt. So we're going to go through a few scripted encounters here. We're just going to be doing some attacks to get through these grunts. And this portion of the scenario here in the Imperial base, we're in the home stretch here.
Yeah. Also, there's one cool thing that Sabin has, or Shadow has, and that's his dog. Occasionally, when he gets hit, his dog can come out and counterattack for him, and basically, the dog does a lot of damage.
Yeah, the dog does insane damage. The dog also cuts the damage that Shadow takes. This is from physical attacks, by the way. And his dog's name is Interceptor. He's this little kind of Doberman-looking thing. And he's got a couple different attacks. He's got Takedown, he's got Wild Fang. And as Riku said before, they are very powerful, especially when compared to the physical damage that that Shadow would be doing anyway. So, looks like we're not going to see it here on on Nitz's side. He's doing a little inventory management.
Oh, as we saw, he did get the black belt from the one fight with Cyan when we first met him.
Yes.
It's a 7 out of 8 chance that it drops, I believe.
Right. So the black belt is a relic that will, when equipped, it will cause you to occasionally counterattack when hit with a physical attack. We don't use it in this run. If it has any use at all, it will get sold when you get to Nitzguy1 to give you a little extra gold to buy a mithril pike or two, if that's what you choose to do, or to make sure that you buy plenty of the smoke bombs that I referred to earlier. So this is pretty cool. This is an opportunity to pilot this Magitech armor. You did it in the very beginning of the game with Terra and Vixen Wedge, but you're going to do it for 3 battles here, and you get to use an array of OP attacks, OP elemental attacks that are going to one-shot anything that you encounter here. This is, and you saw Nitz do it on the first battle. He might do it here in the subsequent battles. This is also an opportunity for you to rearrange your inventory, rearrange your items. Yep, you see it here. He's going to take.
No, not quite fast enough.
Yep.
He's going to want to move his Phoenix Downs up a little bit.
Yeah, because the Phoenix Downs are going to start to get used in the not too distant future. So.
Yeah, he'll be using them on his next 2 boss fights he's going to run into here.
Yep. It looks like his Phoenix Down is up pretty high, so... Okay, move the auto crossbow down. Alrighty, and then this is it. Just a very brief conversation here, and then Nitz will be the first to exit the Imperial base, now with Cyan as your friend. So he's going to make a short overworld map walk here down to the Phantom Forest. A safety save beforehand. Can't say I fault him for that. This can be a very, very tricky part of the run. Can be dangerous. Ooh, nice preemptive there. Going through the forest, you're going to get these ghost encounters. You can get 1 or you can get 3, and one area where getting 3 of them can be dangerous is if you get pincered by them, because they all cast fire and they do a decent amount of damage, and because none of these characters know any kind of healing magic, you're relying on potions. HP is pretty valuable in this section, so you definitely don't want to cough it up. Wow, 2 preemptives there, especially on the 3 ghosts. That is very fortunate for Nitz. So he is going to get out of the forest right now, and he will be fine. He is now about to start the Phantom Train section here. There's several cars to this train. Each of them are unique and have different things that you do or don't do in them. So a lot of story to get through here. Speaking of story, the whole purpose of this Phantom Train is what it actually does is it takes people who have died, it takes their souls to essentially takes them to the afterlife. So the fact that these 3 living characters here are on this train is something that they're not too thrilled about. So that's what's going on here. In these cars here, you're going to see these little ghosts moving around. They can be very trolly and can block you at inopportune times. So he's doing a little dance to avoid them. Oh boy, he's boxed in well here. Oh my goodness. So this is a trigger here. You got to go into this car. You see that ghost block the way. Oh, and it's a side attack. That is also very fortunate. Ooh, Zero here dealing with a very unfun encounter, and that's the Grasshoppers. Grasshoppers have a decent amount of hit points, and they also have the ability to. Oh God, another one. Oh wow, that's not fortunate. They also have the ability um, to inflict berserk, and you see that's when Cyan's skin turns bright red. There, that's berserk. Um, that can be very bad on the Velt for a very particular reason, which we'll get to if it happens. Otherwise, we'll have to worry about it.
So
Nitz is. Oh, go ahead.
even though Zero has his Sabin dead right now, it's not going to matter for too much longer.
Right.
Because when you actually come into the forest, once you get to the second screen in it, your whole party gets completely healed here.
Yeah, and you're forced to do it. There's a trigger tile in that little corridor there, and as soon as you hit it, it automatically moves you up to the recovery spring. You get it. Everyone gets revived. Status effects gone. HP full. So, it is definitely something that can save you there if you do take a lot of damage beforehand. Nit's doing a safety save here again in the race setting. I don't blame him at all. Because this stretch out here, you're going to be outside the train for pretty much the rest of the way, and you're going to be encountering bombs. Bombs have an attack called Blaze, which can, when thrown on a single target, can one-shot you. And if you get into a Pincer Attack with them, a side attack, that is brilliant. Not a threat at all. If you get pincered by bombs, it can be extremely dangerous. So, it's definitely something we want to avoid. But it looks like we're going to be fine here. I don't think he's going to get another encounter before he gets to the engine. And he won't. He'll be fine.
Also, one thing to point out, we picked up the earring there for Sabin.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
Even though Sabin doesn't actually have any magic attacks because he uses the Blitz command, all the commands used in the Blitz ability are actually magical damage.
Aurabolt is. Suplex and Pummel are physical. They use his Vigor. But because Aurabolt is one that's used so much... Oh, yes! Train Suplex! This is one of the instances where you will see a suplex. It is... when you're talking about a speed run, suplexing the train wastes time. However, it's freaking cool to be able to pick up a train and suplex it. What you're really supposed to do is what you saw him do there with Shadow, which is just toss a Phoenix down at it, and it dies instantly. So, that's the real strat. But for swag, before you do that, you hit it with a suplex. So, yes, we did say suplex. We saw it there from Nitz. We'll see if we see it from Zero. Stay tuned for that. So now we're gonna wrap up the train cutscene here on Nitz's side, and then he's gonna move into the next portion of this scenario, which we'll explain when we get to it. But what's going on here, in at least as far as the cutscene or the story goes, on Nitz's side is you'll see Cyan discover that his wife and his son are getting on the train at this stop here, and they are going to be taking that trip to the afterlife, and Cyan's pretty sad about this. I can't say I blame. So we're gonna see that happening here. The train is going to be moving. He's just going to blast Sabin out of the way so that he can try to get to his loved ones. But he will just watch them drift away with the train. Do we have Nitz's audio here? Yeah, you're going to hear this very mournful train whistle at the very end, signaling that Cyan has come to the realization that he is all alone. Okay, back to business. Doing a menu real quick. I'm going to equip a couple of relics on here. What earrings does is it boosts your magic damage output, not necessarily from spells, but just anything that uses your magic stat, which the Aura Bolt does. And he's also going to put True Night on Sabin as well. What that does is it automatically protects any party members that are in critical HP status, which you can see, like when they're kneeling down. This Grasshopper attack is definitely a waste of time. Here comes that Wing Snap. That is going to Berserk Cyan. But luckily you got him to run away before he wasted time with attacks. All right, now, this is the Barren Falls section of the scenario. We're going to naked Cyan as well, with the exception of his sword. Reason being is we're going to kill Cyan. And we're going to do this for a very particular reason and in a very particular way, so that we can execute a glitch coming up here. Now, what normally happens here is you fight a series. You're going to go down this waterfall, and there's a gauntlet of encounters here. You're going to fight a series of piranhas, and then at the very end of it, there's a boss called Rhizopaz that you would fight here. Now, normally you 2 piranhas will pop up, you kill them. 2 or 3 more pop up, you kill them. A few more pop up, and eventually get to Rhizopaz. That's not going to be happening. What's going to be happening is we're going to kill these piranhas in a very particular way, and we're going to skip any further encounters in this scenario. So here's how it works. We get Cyan dead. Sabin is then going to toss a Phoenix down at him. Okay? That's going to revive him. Now, just in case the piranha comes out with a strong attack, tries to hit Cyan, Sabin will block it. That's the beauty of the True Night. Didn't need to use it there, but that's fine. So we're going to wait for Cyan's turn. We're going to get to that second sword tech, the retort that you saw on the very first encounter with them. All right? And then we're going to use the suplex command again. It's going to miss, but it's going to trigger this retort. Now, I'm not the best at explaining why that happens the way it does, but what it does is it tricks the game into not bringing along the next group, and so therefore it's just like, okay, you're done, and you skip. Well, first of all, you skip some battles that would waste a good amount of time, but also with your characters being underleveled, Rhizopaz can make very short work of you, so it can rip your run, certainly. So we avoid all of that, and our reward for doing that is we get Gao, or at least we meet Gao. Getting him is an entirely different story, and that can prove to be very tricky. We mentioned before where there can be big swings in these races that are based on RNG. Gao, I think, is probably one of the most significant ones in this run. Toss a potion at Cyan, and off we go into the Veldt, into Gao's homeland, if you will. Meet Gao, yes. So what we're going to do here is we are just going to make a beeline to a town in the northeast section of the Veldt called Moblies. This is going to have a key item in it called dried meat. Using the dried meat will give you a little bit of hit points back, but its main function is to get Gao to like us. After we get to Moblies, we are going to potentially see Gao show up after you complete certain battles under certain circumstances. So that's what we're looking at here. Oh, it looks like Zero is approaching Rhizopaz. There we go. He got all his equips right. Buying that Phoenix down. I can get into why that's important in just a minute here. So let's see how Zero does on his... Oh, a safety save there from from Nets. All right. Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay, Zero doing the right thing there. Using Cyan, using Cyan to kill the Piranha. Normally you would do that with Sabin, but you can do it with Cyan too. That doesn't really matter. So here we're going to see the Phoenix Down get to him. Where is that? There it is. All right. Oh, and there's Gao. First try Gao for Nets. Gao has he has a 5 out of 8 chance of appearing in after battles where he is eligible to appear, and I'm not going to get too much into that. Let's go back here to Zero. Let's see if he is going to complete this. He's doing the suplex. It's going to miss. It's going to be a retort. It's going to one-shot this Piranha, and we are done. Riser Pass skip successful over on Zero's side. Well done. And he's about to approach the Velt as well. When you do get Gao here, there is a rather long cutscene that you just have to sit here and endure for a while. But fortunately, what Riku referenced earlier is that these cutscenes that are in the battle screen do not require the mashing of the A button in order to advance it. You can just hold A down, so that's kind of nice. This is kind of like about a minute or so breather as you're getting into the final third of the run, where you can just kind of hold A and space out for a bit. So that's what Nitz is doing. This cutscene that's probably about halfway done, I would say. You are forced to get a tutorial from a green imp, which in an ironic twist, especially because we're watching this on Twitch, is named Kappa. He will give you tutorial on using the leap mechanic for Gao on the Velt, which we will do absolutely none of. So it is purely a waste of time. But even if it was something we used, if you're speedrunning this game, you probably already know what leap is all about. So it's a waste of time, no matter how you slice it. Alrighty. This is an unfortunate encounter for Zero to get in on the Velt because with these particular enemies, they have can't run flags on them, which means that you have to go through and kill them. And first try Gao, excellent.
He hasn't gotten to the town yet, though.
He doesn't have the dried meat yet. Yeah, this is the frustration of Gao. So if you don't have the dried meat, Pincer Ghost here. This is going to cost it a little bit of time. We're going to use potions. This is how this is handled. Use a potion on the Signal Ghost. It will do 250 damage. One shot him, and hey, now you got an open lane to run away. Anyway, so that's the unfortunate part about what happened with Zero there, is he had to do that battle, and Gao appeared, but it didn't do him any good. So we're hoping that he didn't use his Gao luck there when it was useless, as opposed to when he actually needs it. So, but he is into Mobleast now. He will get his dried meat, and now he will be begging Gao to show up at the first opportunity. Meanwhile, Nitz is over here. He's going to be going through a little bit of cutscene action here for about a minute or longer. So let's see if Zero gets first try Gao. Yeah, just regular attack should be enough to take these guys out. He realized that. Battle animations for regular attack certainly are shorter, and oh, no Gao. Alright. Hopefully he will get him before he reaches the shiny cave. We'll probably get at least one more. What do we got here? Oh, Reapomans and Vaporites. These can just be dispatched with a regular attack as opposed to using dispatch. There we go. Ah, there's Gao. Okay. As long as you get... It doesn't matter if you get him on the first... I mean, certainly you want to get him on the first one so you got him and you know it's over with. You don't have to sit there and be anxious about it. But as long as you get him before you reach that that cave where Gao has his, as he calls it, his shiny, his treasure hidden, then it doesn't waste any time. But if you get there and you haven't gotten him, then you got to walk back and forth and grind, and this can definitely waste time. So, oh, go ahead.
Just Nitz is with an unlucky back attack. We're going down the river, and there's going to be some encounters in here, and we're going to take specific paths. You're going to see, like, arrows show up on the screen, and we go right, then left at the next set.
Yep. Yeah, so this is the Serpent Trench. When done properly, you're going to get 4 encounters in here. It's split up into 2 sections. There'll be 2 in the first section, 2 in the second section. This is the second encounter of the first section. You just want to run away, of course, unless you get a pincer, in which case you need to, you know, at least somewhat fight your way out of it. And because this is kind of a gauntlet as well, with the exception of this room that you're in here, not a lot of opportunity to heal yourself outside of battle. Yeah, gotta go left there. It always defaults to the right side, so the first one, the first choice, you could just leave it be and it'll take you where you need to go. But the second one, and because you only have a short window to do it, that is not the time to space out and go to the right, because that will definitely cost you time. So this is the 3rd battle he has encountered here. He has officially run from it. He's going to have 1 more coming up right here. And, ooh, it's a side attack, so he's going to get out of this real quick. That is fortunate. All right, and the Serpent Trench is done. And so is Sabin's scenario almost. He's got a couple more things that he needs to do here before he wraps this up. And the first thing he's going to do here is he's just going to go into town real quick. And if I know Nitz the way that I know Nitz, he is going to be not only buying these smoke bombs here. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe not. Oh, NPC. Yeah, okay. So he's going to go here. He's going to sell that black belt that you got there from the first battle you did with Cyan. And he's going to purchase a mithril pike. That mithril pike is going to get equipped by Edgar when he rejoins the fray, and that is going to replace the sword that he's using on one of his hands, and that's going to just give him it's going to give him more damage output for the encounter with Kefka. So we will see if Nitz can very deftly toss that pike on Edgar when the time is right. Little safety save here. Now we're starting lock scenario. This is going to start out with a very interesting trick, what we call the guard clip. The way this scenario normally works is you have to go through the town, you need to get merchant's clothes, you need to rescue Celeste, and then escape. Now this guard here is, you see him walking up and down that corridor. Right behind him is the exit from the town. So we need to get a way to get past him, and we're going to do it with the sprint shoes. So we're going to walk in here, we're going to walk out. That's going to bring the guard down. You're going to go into the menu here, and if you time it just right, you can just walk right through him. It's a little more complicated than just what I explained there, but having the sprint shoes, hitting your menu at the right time, and then when you back out of your menu, you just want to be holding right, and it'll get you through. So we see Zero here entering the Serpent Trench. He's going to get his 4 encounters as well. The first of which is a preemptive, so he gets out of there real quick. And you're going to see those smoke bombs that we're talking about are going to be used at just about every opportunity here by Nitz to get out of these battles what is usually going to be the quickest manner possible. It's even more important in the next scenario where you have 3 people that are going to be running from battles as opposed to just 1. So So Nitz is taking a small detour here to very soon pick up the item that is in that treasure chest. That item is a Thunder Rod. That is going to be getting used in very short fashion on the boss that you're going to get to in what is now the next room to make him extremely trivial. Now, one thing about this this boss encounter that I should mention is, like I said before, if you do lock scenario casually, you're going to have Celeste in your party here. Well, obviously we don't have her. We didn't get her. So the game kind of thinks that she's there, though, and you'll see what I mean. Obviously we don't see her. We haven't even made reference to her. Until now. Locke's going to have a small cutscene conversation with a colon. Now, here's what I was talking about with this trivial battle. We're going to use the Thunder Rod. It's going to do a lightning attack on this enemy, and it is dead. Okay? Now, the way that this battle is supposed to work is that you're supposed to have Celeste with you, and her special ability is what's called Runic. And if she's using certain swords, what it will allow her to do is it will allow her to absorb any magical attacks that your enemy would throw, any magic that your enemy is casting, excuse me, that they would throw out at you, which tunnel armor normally does. So it's a good way to make that battle very easy to get through. But because we throw that Thunder Rod at it and it one-shots it, we don't really care about that. So we now see that Nitz has begun the final scenario, and this is Bannon's scenario. Basically, all we're going to do is just toss up a bunch of smoke bombs, run from all these encounters. We do want Edgar to get that second Mithril Pike on. I saw him fiddling around in his item menu. I don't know if he was able to successfully do it, but if he hasn't, he'll be doing it. He'll be doing it eventually here. Only one encounter on that river. That's pretty good luck there for Nitz. So that's going to get him through pretty quickly, and his lead is growing, and he's looking to be in pretty good shape to take down this match here. For reference, Nitz split at the end of Sabbath scenario at 1:17:45. Zero did the same at 1:21:41. So a gap of just about 4 minutes here. That is going to be that's going to be pretty tough for Zero to catch up at this point. But we saw him get the guard clip there, so he is through. So this is looking to be... it looks like Nitz has this one pretty well in hand. But it's not over yet, because we still have to fight Kefka, and if he wants to, and if you're not quick enough to avoid it, he can hammer you with an AoE spell that is pretty much insta-death. So let's hope that doesn't happen to Nitz, but if it does, that's going to give Zero a fantastic opportunity to catch up significantly here. So yeah, as you see couched there, one encounter river is indeed Craigasm, because it wastes the least amount of time. So what Nitz is doing here is a small puzzle. You saw that light dancing through. You're supposed to follow its path. However, it does intersect right there. So you can just skip half of it. And then when you get to that, oh, okay, no, he's just going to go into the menu and equip that Mithril Pike. Boo! Do it during battle, Nitz. Come on. Anyway, he's got it done. He's good to go, and he's got a big lead anyway, so he's fine. Something else I wanted to mention here, just because I've been, it's been this way pretty much throughout the entire run. Both of these runners are on PB pace right now. At the split that Nitz had for the end of the lock scenario, he's 14 seconds ahead. For the split that Zero had at the end of Sabin's scenario, he's over 3 minutes ahead. So he's fixing to get a pretty big PB, and Nitz is looking to get one himself. Maybe he can get that 130 he's been looking for. So let's certainly hope that he does that. In the meantime, he's just going to toss up smoke bombs at every opportunity, and he is almost out of the woods here and ready for and is going to, well, first of all, he's going to go through a few minutes of cutscenes, it seems like, and then he'll be gearing up for the final battle. We see Zero taking down that tunnel armor, so he's going to be done with that scenario. Oh wow, now he's 3 minutes and 13 seconds ahead. So he's looking pretty good for a big PB here. So we're definitely hyped about that. Meanwhile, Nitz over here is officially done with random encounters. He is now entering a big cutscene where there's a big lead up to the battle with Kefka at Narshe. So he is just a few minutes away from finishing up here.
So I'm just gonna note something quickly right now.
Go ahead.
So
yeah.
in that cave that we go to once we go into Narshe, we're gonna get to see another room in it with Zero's side.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the notes that he's using from the LCC, it actually doesn't mention to buy the Mithril Pike at all.
Correct.
So it tells you to go into that Moogle room, and so he's gonna be going and doing that.
This is very true. Yeah. So, there's a room that Nitz did indeed skip. In it is a sword called the Rune Edge, which is another weapon upgrade for Edgar that's going to help him do more damage here. Edgar and Sabin are going to be your main damage dealers here for this battle with Kefka. So that extra boost, if you can get him to, because the name of the game with Kefka is you want to kill him as quickly as possible. More specifically, you want to kill him. You want to kill him so that he gets the least amount of turns possible. Because once Kefka gets to his third turn, he can cast Ice 2 on your entire party, which unless you are rather lucky and you happen to equip the Mithril Shield on Sabin, it's going to one-shot everyone, and it's rip. Now, luckily, there is a save point right at the beginning of that battle that is going to help you a little bit, but it's still a significant time loss. Like if Nitz wipes to Kefka, he's not going to PB. In fact, he's not going to be close. But with his lead, he can probably wipe to Kefka at least once and still be fine. So we'll see how this goes down. So just more cutscenes here for Nitz, and in a little bit we will get to the conclusive battle here, at least for this category.
So I think this is probably the worst cutscene in the entire run, just because you're just like, I want to finish now.
I know, it's agonizing. It's actually, tell me what you think here, Riku, but I think it's kind of similar in ways to the end of the Paladin percent runs for Final Fantasy IV, where after you kill Mylonzi... Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Let me hold that thought. So we're going to see a safety save here from... Nitz. In race setting, I think that's very smart. We're going to talk to Bannon, and then we're going to get started. We're going to skip this tutorial here. We know what to do. You're going to form 3 parties. Again, you're only going to use 1. We just put Terra in there as a placeholder. Edgar, Sabin, Gao, and Cyan go in the main party, and then Kutan, who is the placeholder for the Celeste that you don't have, goes into a party by herself. Again, the Terra and Celeste or Kutan parties do not get used at all whatsoever. Excuse me. So we're going to see something similar to what we saw in the Moogle Cave little scenario in the beginning of the run, where you have 3 parties that you can use to go through, but you only use 1, and these enemies are just going to kind of slowly meander up. And what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to kill the boss before any of these soldiers get to whoever you're protecting. The first time around it was Terra. This time around it's Bannon. So if any of them get to Bannon, it's game over. But we're not going to let that happen. We're going to wait here for that guard to go up. Now we're going to go through. You see this guy running back and forth. If you do touch him, you encounter what's called the Rider, and that just wastes time. But here we go. Here's the big battle. We're going to he's going to use Hornet here. Do some blitzes with Cyan. Sabin, excuse me. Do some attacks with Edgar and do the Dispatch Sword Tech with Cyan, and we just hope it works. All right. Oh,
wow, that hit on Edgar.
Edgar, looking a little dangerous here. Iron Needle, that does some decent damage. Ice 2, is it going to hit everyone? Yes, It is. That is going to be... Oh, 7. You hero.
Wow.
And there it is. Oh, my goodness. Nitz, by the skin of his teeth, gets Kefka on the first try. He has not done. His official time is 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 32 seconds. That is also a PB of 51 seconds by him. 1:30:30 according to his splits. So the winner of this race is going to be Nitzguy1. GG to him. He is going to have a record of 1-0 and will face someone with the same record in round number 2. So we got a win and a PB. I'd say that's a pretty damn good night for my friend Nitz. So good for him. Again, GG. I see some GGs coming up here in chat. And that's the magic of having that mithril shield, is that that's the only way you're going to, the way this run works out, that's the only way you're going to survive that AoE Ice 2 is if Sabin is at full HP and has the mithril shield on. Otherwise, he's toast. So, no one messes with Sabin, as Fuexel was saying here in chat. And a flare for the dramatic. Attaboy, Nitz. Way to be a crowd pleaser there. Nirm, you're absolutely right. He did clutch that. That is super clutch Sabin. Yet another reason why I think he's the best character in this game. All right, so now let's focus our attention over here on Zero's side. He is about to start this Kefka Narshe battle here. Put Terra there just to get her out of the way. Cyan goes there. Edgar goes there. Sabin goes there. Kutan, go away. Gao, there you go. Locke, you just sit on the sidelines. Mithril Shield, Nitz, I'm telling you. That's what it's there for.
All right, so we're gonna change.
Actually, that's right. Nitz doesn't get the mithril shield, so that was Sabin just being a tough guy. That's good stuff. All right, so here we go. Here comes Zero. He's gonna work his way through this maze here. He's gonna wait for that green guard that's coming up to his left to walk by, and then he'll be good. And you can just walk down here over to the left. Wait for a particular brown guard or soldier to walk by. And there he goes. Let's see if he dodges the rider. He does. Looks good. Alrighty. And here at Kefka. Alright. Oh, an incorrect blitz. Oh no, that is going to expose him to some potential danger later on in this fight. And let's hope that he... Okay, there we go. He got the blitz that time. Alrighty. Poison on Cyan is... Oh, attaboy. Way to take that. Does not one-shot him. That is good. Doing a dispatch. Ice 2. Oh, good. It's just going to concentrate on Cyan. He's fine. He's got this. Alrighty. Just in case you're wondering, Um, Once you beat him, you'll see him say "Don't think you won" like it does there. You time is when he first starts to disappear right there, and he goes away. So that is it for Zero. He has finished. He hasn't done yet. I'd like him to. I'd like him to.
Oh, he's not even in the IRC.
Oh, that might have something to do with it. All right, so he killed him at about 134.20 or so, which is going to be a PB of about 4 minutes for him, which is great. But he does not have an official. He does not have an official SRL time, so not sure how that's going to be handled. I mean, he did come in second anyway, so. But I don't have a time to report there for him, unfortunately. So. Yeah, he could have disconnected, yeah, but he's this match is now in the books. It is again a victory for Nitzguy1, and again GG to him and GG to Zero too, because I mean he did PB by 4 minutes. That is fantastic. So we're definitely very happy for him there. So so again. That is that. We are going to be signing off pretty soon here. As far as what's coming up for this tournament, we do have some action on deck for you tomorrow. That's going to start at noon Eastern. That's going to be a match between Surge Benemu 31. He's going to be racing against Yagamoth. You're going to want to find that on Natara's channel. That's Netara for those not familiar. She will be the one to restream that, and you're also going to get commentary from her as well, which is delightful. Also coming up tomorrow, a match between Gomorrah and X Codes that will be at 5 p.m. Eastern. A match between the aforementioned Natara and Valderkorn. That's going to happen at 6 Eastern. You're going to catch that on Scratch Dragon's channel, the restream. And then also you're going to have a match between Essentia 4 and Kid of Seth that is going to be occurring at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. And then there's plenty more matches scheduled for Monday and so on throughout the week. So that's what you got to look forward to tomorrow. Be sure to tune into those channels. If you are not, if you would like to follow what's going on here, let's see if that's the right. No, that's not the right command. What is the command here to get the information about the tournament there, Riku? Oh yeah, you see the commands here for commentary on the runners. There it is, K&N. Those links in there, and the last one that Riku just put up, that's going to give you some information about the tournament. You'll be able to see the schedule there too, so see who is coming up. You'll see also when, and we also see Nitz doing a snipping tool on his splits there. I don't blame him. That's a PV. He's going to want to brag about that. But you'll be able to use the links there. You'll see the schedule. You'll see who's going to be racing. You'll see when, and you'll also see what channels you can go to catch them. Because while there are going to be some that are going to be on RPG Limit Break's channel, there's also going to be various great people among our community here that are going to be restreaming it on their own channels. So just be sure to keep your eyes peeled for where those are going to be so you don't miss any of the action. But with this race now being in the books, I think that's pretty much going to do it for us. Rico, I'll toss it back to you to wrap it up.
Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and give a host over here to Couch, since it looks like he just started a run here.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah, go and he's one of the people in the tournament. So go and check out his run here. Yeah. He's looking to try to improve his PB. So
very good. And but before you guys do, you see the links there for the commentators as well as the runners. Give all these people a follow. They're all really fine folks. Put out some really good content, and I'm sure they'd appreciate having the follow. So on that note, I think I will tell you all to take care, and we will have the host go over to Couch, and hope you enjoy what he's got going on. So have a good evening, everyone.
See you guys.